All right, you guys, good afternoon. This is Donovan Sadiq. You are now tuned into Don't Believe the Hype. This is a show where we talk about politics, things that are trending in the news. But the one thing that we try to do at this show is we try to give you enough information so that you'll be an informed person, an informed voter, whatever the situation is. I want you to take a look right now. For those of you guys looking at the video, some of you guys that are on us live, this is a green screen. Behind the green screen is a big ass window. And that's what's really going on in the world. So, what we ask you to do here is to pull this curtain down and see what is really being gone and who's pulling the bells and the whistles and the levers. I'm joined by Demetra K from the Demetra K Show. Demetra, how you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous, actually.
Thank you, because before we went on air, you were telling me about a few things. And if you've seen this woman when she is upset, she is intense. Now, I'm not saying she gets loud or anything like that. She just like, we went to lunch last week and it was like something jumped off and you could not give her attention from what she was doing. It's like a
I don't even remember lunch.
right,
It was all a blur.
right. It was like you almost like a nuclear reactor. Like it's just
Yes, yes,
there, just waiting to blow. You know.
yes.
So, but today what we're going to talk about is it's tax time investigations. And if you're from the Corruption Valley,
Damn.
okay, and that's the whole Inland Empire. We have a lot of corruption going on in the city and things that are happening. Moreno Valley has the distinction, which is the city that I live in, has the distinction of being the recipient of the FBI's largest public bribe to a public official. $2.3 million. Mr. Coe is in jail. And it's funny how when these people get caught, all of a sudden they get sick. Oh, I have a heart problem. I don't know if you saw it, but he was coming into court with a little walker.
Like you can't send me to prison like this.
Right.
Can
Paul Manafort, he's got the gout all of a
All of a
sudden.
sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden. Before he's wearing ostrich suits and all that other good stuff. You know,
Hasn't shaved in 15
yeah,
months.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's just amazing, and we have the college tuition thing with the
Scandals.
scandal that's going on, and now the very people that perpetrated that scandal are now acting like the victims. We're not returning to school because we don't want to endure the bullying.
Right.
Well, if you did something wrong and you got caught, shouldn't you? I mean, your mom, your parents did all of that to get you there, and now you're just going to drop out because you got caught.
Well, I mean, she didn't want to go in the first place.
Right, right. No, we understand
Right,
that, but
yeah.
the point is you're there now.
Right.
You
Well,
cheated two people out of a slot.
well, she's probably going to get kicked out anyway.
We don't know that. White privilege is a mother. We
You
don't
think?
know that. Yeah, I mean, think about the people that this has been going on for years. Think about the people who actually got in there, got a degree, and has gone on to wherever they're going to do. Do we take those degrees from those people? Do we
Well,
nullify their degrees because they got in illegal?
not that I know of.
Why not? They did it illegally.
I don't know. You tell me.
That's what I'm saying. That's opening the Pandora's box, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, your mama paid $500,000 to get you into
Mm-hmm.
school, and you just wanted to essentially party. I mean,
Well, let's be real. We don't think Donald Trump actually went to school, do we? I mean, he's president, but that goes to show you when you have money, that is the influencer.
well, I think it also speaks to there's also a lot of educated fools.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that go to school, and they don't retain anything. They're just there. They're barely
But
passing.
okay, wait, but we're talking about Donald Trump here.
Right. Well, I'm just saying.
He won't release any of his transcripts, any of his grades.
Well, you know what? Since you're speaking to Donald Trump, he should, because he also questioned Barack Obama's.
Show me your.
His transcripts
Mhm.
and his birth record and all this other stuff. So it's like, well, shoot, if you throwing rocks, you should at least be able to.
And we know that's not going to happen because we know that he bought his way into Penn State,
Well, like most
whatever it
people
was.
with that kind of
right, exactly. But again, for those that are on Inland Empire Informer, I'm looking at the live camera because I want to talk to these people directly. The winter time is over. We are out of winter. We are now heading into spring. How do I know that? My system has fully completed its reptilian
I'm about to say,
shell.
what you.
Yeah, it's reptilian shell because when the weather changes, my condition really messes me up. So that's why you guys haven't seen me do a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and so I want to talk to those guys in Moreno Valley, Inland Empire. As we all know, Victoria Baca projects herself as an advocate. What does that mean?
That means that you
Champion something, right?
Yeah, on behalf of
On
something
behalf
or
of something.
somebody or something.
Now,
Yeah.
here's a woman who exploits her own people. It's number one, she doesn't give a damn about District 1. You know, she doesn't do shit for District 1, which is fine.
Is it fine?
Well, it isn't fine with me, but you know, we know what we got.
Right.
Especially when you vote her back in. Yes, I'm talking to you guys. You vote her back in. So anyway, she's an advocate. A very known resident in District 1 has taken it upon himself to look at some of her advertisements and kind of pass that along to a friend of his in the IRS. Because when you are saying that you're an advocate and you charge $500 cash, you are advocating for money, which is fine. There's no crime in doing that, but you got to pay taxes on it. And I think my friends at the IRS would like to know how much money has we, the taxpayer, have been cheated out of from her advocacy.
Well, wouldn't that be kind of hard to gauge if she's doing it in cash? I mean, maybe she's not keeping records.
Well, and that's fine. We'll let the IRS decide.
What if she says, oh, no, just, it was just something, I didn't get any clients from it?
We'll let the IRS decide that. But then again, there we go again with the shenanigans. You see what I'm saying? Victoria Baca, people are watching you. And any dirt that could be thrown at you, of course, it'd be an improvement to your face. However, we're going to be continuing to do that because there she is again. Again, she is trying to circumvent the system, falling in to what Trump has been saying. These people are coming over here. They're criminals. You're a criminal. Now, I don't know if she's legal or illegal, but I could care less. However, you're advocating yourself as an advocate. You advertise that you are taking cash donations. I think the IRS needs to know that, and that's something that I have passed on from your advertising.
Wait, so is it cash donation or she actually has a fee?
That's her fee, a $500 cash fee. So you're operating as a business.
So she doesn't have a business license number?
No.
Okay,
No, not at all.
Okay.
She doesn't have any of that.
I just want to trace some steps.
Sure.
She's a city council woman
Mm-hmm.
who sits
a
on
city council criminal. Go ahead.
Those are your words.
Yeah, those are my words. Mm-hmm.
City council woman who sits on the city council that's located where?
In the city of Moreno Valley. At City Hall. Mm-hmm.
Don't they also give business licenses within that area?
Yes, they do.
Why wouldn't you just see yourself over there to get a business license?
Because,
because
think about it. If I'm a legal citizen in the United States, I don't need you to advocate for me for my children. I can do it myself. She's preying on the illegals who live in the shadows, who are too afraid to come out of those shadows. She says, you know what? I know you have a child in the school because that's the law, but I know you came over here from the border. I'll advocate for you. $500, please.
Well, so there are advocacy groups.
Yes.
And I know NAACP is one of them where kids get into school problems at school.
Sure.
I know people who advocate for them, and they'll do it for free.
Absolutely.
So you don't necessarily, but to your point, if people are uneducated as to how it works, then yeah, they're going to think I need to pay in order to do that.
Exactly.
But so that leads me to ask, is she successful in getting these people what they're wanting?
Well, here's the funny thing. Especially in this area, we know there's a high rate of, we have a lot of warehouses. When you have a lot of warehouses, you attract a lot of, warehouses go where there's a high Hispanic, poor Black population. Moreno Valley has a high Hispanic rate. Our town is 60% Hispanic. Out of that 60%, I would say a good 15% are probably illegal, chain migration, all the stuff that Trump has been saying is a problem. I don't care. My neighborhood is predominantly turning Hispanic now. It used to be all white, but now it's predominantly Hispanic. And it is what it is. So here's a lady who is of Hispanic origin who is preying on her own people and their fears and saying, you know what, I'll make some money off of you. And I don't have a problem with you doing that. But if you're going to operate as a business and you're a councilwoman, shouldn't you be paying taxes on that?
You know who else is doing exactly what she's doing?
What's that?
Trump.
Oh, of course.
He's preying off the fears of his own people.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's the playbook.
Absolutely, that's the playbook.
In the process, I'll make a little money.
Right.
But no matter if some people get killed up in the process
But
or
the
whatever.
sad thing about Victoria Baca is she's doing it, and these idiots continue to vote her in the office as she's using and abusing them.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people don't understand. yeah, there's people who are voting her in, but the people who aren't voting are also voting her in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
it's very sad.
But that's what the people want. So okay.
No, that ain't what they want. It's when you're backed by a.
Well, I'm saying if you don't go and vote to change that, is what you want.
Right. But when you're backed by deep pockets of a organization, Highland Fairview, which is backed by Ido Benvizi and the Trump brothers down in Florida, it is what it is. And that's why our city looks the way it does. And certain districts look a certain way and all these other things. So I just want to put that out there. I tipped off a good friend of mine at the IRS. Hopefully they will look into it, because one thing I know, Highland Fairview and Ido Benvizi, your money cannot influence the IRS. I mean, it can, but you don't know the people that I know there. So I know that this person's going to look into it.
Well, let me ask you something. Since you know somebody there,
yes,
can you tell them that, my good friend is not getting a tax-free income tax return? Can you do something about that?
Well, that means you're balling. If you're not getting a tax, I ain't getting one either. Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't want to pay either.
Just little old me.
Right.
I'm not, I'm not talking about a lot of money. Just
right. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. I'm feeling a lot better, so I'll be doing a little bit more stuff. It's springtime. I am now coming out of the cave, and we will be a little bit more active on that page there. So, guys, stand by. Action's going to happen. I also want to talk about a young man that I went to his platform, and we talked about him last week. His name is Andrew Yang. You can go to his website, Andrew Yang 2020. This guy is on fire. If you look at some of his proposals, and I mean, okay, if you go to a Kamala Harris and you say, yeah, reparation, okay, how are you going to do it? She has no plan. She's just saying it because it's the thing to say. This guy has, I think I read over 30 different platform things.
No, it's like 78.
Yeah, 78. No, but I'm just saying the ones I saw. It was like 30.
Yeah.
But 78 ideas that he wants to implement that's going to make things better. Now,
his campaign is really picking up a lot of steam.
And the funny thing is, he made the debate stage. He made the threshold of $65,000 and
or votes.
Yeah, votes or whatever it is. Yeah. And you know what? I'm starting to lean toward Andrew Yang.
Be careful.
You know what I mean? I'm starting to lean. I mean, a little bit.
Because you're going to get in a little bit of trouble.
Nah, I'm not going to get trouble from who?
That ADOS crowd.
Well, no. What I'm saying is his platform. I ain't saying I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I want my reparations. There's no doubt about that. However, I mean, if you're a millennial, you might want to look at this guy. I mean, he has some very good ideas because what I think he's trying to do is, I mean, he doesn't have a chance in hell of winning because the establishment is going to be against him. No, the establishment's going to rig it. They're going to rig it because that's why, I'm going to talk about that in a second with this Beto O'Rourke guy. Andrew Yang, though, he's probably doing what Bernie Sanders did. He's putting ideas out there that hopefully some of the mainstream guys will adopt and take it to the next level, which is smart because that's what Bernie did. What Bernie did in 2016, people are like, oh, how they were laughing at him and stuff. But notice that they're all talking about it now. That's the mainstream thing. And so that's a progressive way to do it.
Right.
Okay, so Andrew Yang make it. So you guys look at his website, Andrew Yang 2020. I'm going to talk about the guy. I'm very impressed. And yes, I know he has no chance of winning, but just because I feel that way, I'm not going to deny you guys a chance to look at these candidates, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're supposed to look at all the candidates.
Look at all the candidates, and we're trying to make you an informed voter. Tulsi Gabbard. We talked about her last week or the week before last, wherever it was.
Last week.
Last week. I think she's an excellent candidate, too, because, number one, she's a soldier. She's trying to get us out of these wars. They jumped on her because they said, well, don't you think Assad is a war criminal?
Okay.
Wouldn't George Bush be considered a war criminal based on how they view Assad? Oh, he gassed his own people. But didn't George Bush lie to the American people to get us into a war that has cost us how many American lives?
A lot.
And how many Iraqi, Afghani lives?
A lot.
So wouldn't that, by definition, it's an illegal war that we should have never gotten into, by definition, wouldn't that justify him being a war criminal?
I mean, let me just say this. Because my Pepsi is starting to kick in. Now, like, I don't really like drink soda, but I've had a hard...
Our sponsors. Okay.
I had a hard life in the last couple of weeks.
Yes,
okay?
you did.
So
glad she didn't go to the root beer. Go ahead.
That's next. But, I mean, I think the problem with a lot of these candidates, campaigns, is this, it like has the so what factor.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying anything about her and us trying to take us out of war, but it's like, tell us something we haven't heard already.
Right.
Tell us something that's going to get our antennas up and say, okay, which is why you have your Marianne Williamsons and your Andrew Yangs and who else is out there? Really, though, I'm going to just stick with those two for now. That's why they're sticking out, because they're saying something different, especially to the Black community. They're talking about reparations. Well, to some degree, anyway, they're talking about reparations, even though, like Marianne Wilson, she's talking about $100 billion, which
is a good start.
It's decent.
It's a good start for the month.
Right. But the point that I'm making is
per month.
They're speaking of these things, and with Andrew Yang, he's talking about the $1,000 to $2,000 a month for people 18 and over. And so when I hear about the Tulsi Gabbard, she's arguing about Assad and
no, they're trying to trip her up.
Well, they're trying to trip her up, and it sounds like her platform is because she's a veteran. Now,
no, that isn't her platform.
But that's all I've heard you talk about, though.
Yeah,
she's a veteran soldier.
I'm saying that because as a soldier, the Democrats were supposed to be getting us out of this war.
Right. Okay. So listen. I'm not saying
we're spending trillions of dollars in the military. That money could be spent right here.
Got it. But again, tell us something new.
Right.
Because most candidates, to some degree, I mean, Hillary talked about the war a lot too, didn't she?
Yeah, she was for it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so
she voted for it.
We keep hearing a lot of these things, but it's like, listen, as long as we're a country, and this is probably true for any country, there's going to be some war sometime, somewhere.
Of course.
But tell me, as an American, so what they say, that's what I am. How am I going to be able to improve my situation? You know what I'm saying? Like now, immediately, because I mean, we've been in war with the Afghanistan war for how long?
Since 2001, so 18 years. But here's the thing.
I need some right now, something.
But here's the problem, and this is what she's trying to say. The money that we spend when it comes to the war, trillions of dollars, over trillions of dollars, not including the $3 trillion the day before 9/11 that the Pentagon said that they could not find.
Okay.
Imagine $3 trillion, what that would do for the healthcare system, what that would do for our infrastructure and stuff like that. What we're saying is we've got to get out of these endless wars. Okay, but her platform is this. It's not about the endless wars. Remember, her platform kind of mirrors Bernie Sanders. It's just that she's on a younger level.
Okay, but what is her, like, yes, because I don't even know anything about the lady, to be honest with you. I only know what you tell me.
And that's why you need to do your research.
Okay, but no, I do need to do my research, so I'm not saying I don't, but the point that I'm making is
you want that aha moment.
Yeah. Why, like Andrew Yang's shtick is, you know, the $1,000 to $2,000 for every American. Marianne Williamson, reparations, and so what is her?
Here's the thing.
Her stick out moment.
Here's the thing with Tulsi Gabbard. She is already an elected official. She's a representative from the state of Hawaii. So she's seen the big money and the influence that has gone into.
Boring.
Wait. I know it's boring. But what I'm saying is she has experience. Her foreign policy experience is very good. That's why I say she's not going to win the nomination either. But she would be a great candidate to Bernie Sanders because while his foreign policy, he doesn't really have a lot of it, he's good at domestic. She's good at foreign. That would be a good team. And that's where I'm going with the Tulsi-Bernie thing. And when the DNC was rigging the primary, this woman had integrity enough to say, you know what? This is bullshit. I'm out of here. And she resigned because she saw what was going on against Bernie. So this woman has integrity.
So is she running now or is she, you mean the last time?
Well, no. Who?
Hillary? You said when she got out. When she saw what the DNC...
Yeah, she was working for the DNC as a representative. And when she saw the rigging that was going on, she had the integrity to leave.
Got it.
And say, this is not right, what you guys are doing. The people aren't deciding. You guys are deciding who's going to be what. And that's, she had the integrity to do that.
Got it.
So anyway, please look at Tulsi Gabbard. But I think Tulsi Gabbard as a vice president, Bernie Sanders as a president...
Oh, okay, got it.
...would be a great... Her foreign policy is strong, where his is lacking, but he's good at domestic policy versus, whatever. So that's where I'm saying. But look at her platform as well. So they are saying Beto O'Rourke.
That's actually who I was going to talk about.
Yes, Beto O'Rourke. They say, I want you guys to think about this. 24 hours, Bernie raised $5.9 million. That's what they say.
Yes.
You guys honestly believe... Now, and Bernie Sanders has name recognition now, which is why he has to run, because he's the most recognized person in the race right now front runner versus when he ran the first time. Nobody knew who Bernie Sanders was in 2016.
Right.
This guy closed a 60-point gap in less than a year against an opponent that had 532 super delegates before she even had an opponent. And he closed that gap.
Okay.
Unprecedented in politics, but he did it. So now you got this guy named Beto O'Rourke that nobody really heard of. The guy just lost against one of the most idiot senators in the Senate, Ted Cruz. He couldn't beat Ted Cruz. You guys actually believe that this guy raised $6.1 million in 24 hours?
Well, that's what they're saying, that he raised it. They said it.
Just because they say it doesn't
they
mean it's
said
true.
it was to date so far is $6.1 million is the biggest
Right.
record haul to date.
Right. And if you believe that, I've got some beachfront property in Nevada to sell you because wait, here's the thing. Right now, Bernie has 1 million volunteers across the country. This guy doesn't even have a machine set up for that yet. So D, since you just give us a little light. I know this is going into your section.
That's okay. Well, I mean, we can talk about it.
Right, but what would make you think that this guy actually raised that kind of money against the law?
Against the law.
You can only have so much. What's the threshold for donations? $2,700
Per person?
per person.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, this guy doesn't even have a nationwide network yet, and yet he raised that money.
So let me ask you this then, before I go into mine. Why would he lie?
What do you mean? Why would he lie?
Why would he lie, or why would he and they lie?
I am glad you asked that question. The DNC did this. Okay, you Negroes. Look, we've got this black woman. Or this woman who claims to be black when it's convenient, even though she's a bedwench. We're gonna put her as the person, as the front runner. Look, we're gonna put her in Oakland, and she's gonna announce on MLK Day, 20,000 people there, mostly white, and she's gonna be the front runner. You Negroes vote for her. When they figured that we got her number, and it didn't work, they're like, oh my God. Then a couple of weeks later, what happened? Cory Booker ran. Oh, I'm going to run, and we got to put ourselves in white people's shoes and understand their racism. And when that didn't work, they said, damn, we got to do something here. Who can we get that the millennials, Bernie announces, they're like, he's back again. They're like, oh my God, if Bernie, oh my God. We got caught rigging it last time. What are we going to do this time? Because if we rig it this time, we're really going to lose a lot of people. Let's get a young guy who's vibrant, because Beto O'Rourke, he said he wasn't running for president. They must have came to him and said, hey, guy, we know you ain't got a chance in hell, but we're going to give this a shot. If you just run and pull some votes away from Bernie, the more people we put in there, that'll be more votes pulled away from this far left agenda, because we don't understand why these millennials don't understand socialism. I'll tell you why they don't understand socialism. Because when she and I had children and we told our children no, the children went to grandma and grandpa who said yes. So who are grandma and grandpa? The baby boomers. We're children of baby boomers. If our children don't know what it is not to have, why wouldn't you think they would think socialism is a great thing? Everybody should have it. See, so now they see the writing on the wall, and they're like, oh my God. They have no way of beating Bernie Sanders, without rigging it. So they're saying, let's throw this guy in there. When Beto O'Rourke came out, he was on the cover of a pretty famous magazine, and he was talking about his journey to find himself. This guy was so fucked up after he lost that he's out in the wilderness somewhere. Now remember, he married into money. So his wife has a lot of money. They looked at his campaign. His campaign, after dealing with Ted Cruz, was basically busted. And yes, he made a record number of money for a Texas Senate race. It was a record in Texas. But nationally, nobody knows who Beto O'Rourke is. And the reason why they have him out there is because they're trying to siphon off, just like they do in politics here in Moreno Valley. The more people you have in the race, that pulls away votes so that the front runner that they want will win.
So what does it have to do with them lying about the $6.1 million?
What does that have to do with it?
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm saying, but
I just explained it.
Okay, but so
that does have he didn't raise how can you raise $6.1 million?
But what is it? I'm not saying he did or he didn't. I'm saying, but what isn't it? What is the motive for them to lie? Because
what it is why isn't it so convenient? Okay, Kamala raised what, $1 million in a 24-hour period?
Yeah, roughly.
Bernie gets in there, shatters it, 5 million. He's got the receipts. Beto O'Rourke, they say he's got 6.2 million.
Okay.
That was a statement. He hasn't shown any receipts.
Okay, so let me.
They're trying to show that he's a front runner. He's not a front runner.
So it's more or less like smoke and mirrors. Okay,
Yes.
we'll create an illusion that
he's a front runner. He's a front runner. He's got strong support. Look, everybody, nobody even knows who Beto O'Rourke is. If you're one of the main things as a Democrat, you've got to carry California. People in California have to know who you are. How many delegates do we have here? 54?
Roughly.
Something like that. Delegates. You've got to get California. By putting him out there and saying, look, he can fundraise. When you put that statement out there for other donors, they're not going to put their money behind Andrew Yang, who has no chance in hell of winning, even though some people are. They're going to put their money, because guess what? If I put my money and I give you a big donation, guess what I get to be? Ambassador of China, ambassador of Australia, because I'm putting a lot of money in there, or I get a cabinet position. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So by projecting and saying, oh, look, he outraised Bernie. Bernie is the most popular politician in the country. How does this guy outraise Bernie? And he never ran he doesn't even have a national network set up. And if you believe that, you're sadly mistaken. So that answers your question. They want to make a narrative that he has strong support and that he's a front runner to be dealt with.
Okay.
Totally not true. Joe Biden, who's the guy I really want to talk about. I'm glad we got to this, because she always does this to me when I got to take her to the side. I have to take her to the side and get my pimp hand. I got to put my ring on. So I can.
I'm just asking questions.
Right? Did I answer that question?
Yes.
Yes. It creates a false narrative, just like the false narrative of Kamala Harris.
Okay.
But like I said, when we busted her out, she couldn't answer the question. Even now, they're still trying to get her to recant her thing about Smollett.
Oh.
She won't even answer. Yeah, she runs straight to the car when they ask her about that. They're gonna, oh, we had to get behind her. Oh, the guy lied. Oh, whatever. So Joe on the plantation, Biden.
Well, damn.
Okay. All these people, and it's so sad. I saw when he was speaking, if you guys saw a lot of that narrative where he was speaking and he kind of slipped that he was running, did you see all the mammies and the Uncle Toms and coons that were sitting in the audience just applauding and like, oh yes, all baby boomers. Now, this is what I said. James Clyburn, number 3 Democrat, and Uncle Ben.
Oh my God.
Uncle Ben James Clyburn. This is a man, 78 years old, black man, talking about, oh, I thought affirmative action was that was reparations. Nigga, get your ass out there and tell these niggas, what's going on. Yes, Miss Nancy. Yes, Miss Nancy.
Oh my God.
Have you guys seen Driving Miss Daisy?
No.
Yes, Miss Nancy. Yes, yes, sir. I'm going out there. Y'all niggas, Miss Nancy said that was reparations. Nah, that ain't reparations, homeboy. Here's the deal. So you got all these baby boomers. I mean, they're so out of touch. The generation of fail, and I stand by that. Joe Biden goes out there, and they're just applauding him. Are they aware that this is the author of the mass incarceration bill? And he stands by that. So all your children, your cousins, your nephews, your uncles, your fathers that were jailed in the 90s was because of this man. And I'm going to put an audio up to show you exactly how this man felt about that bill. Because back then, you got to look at the sign of the times. It was 30 years ago, 20-something, 30 years ago. It was popular to be strong on crime. It was popular. And he was the top of the line. He said, I don't give a damn. And he also used the term predators against black people. And you got these handkerchief head, generation fail, baby booming Negroes. Oh, Joe! Oh! It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Obama, why would you applaud a presidency that was unprecedented? I voted for, what I had to do twice, whatever, because it was unprecedented, whatever. But he didn't do anything for us. Why would you want that again? So if as vice president, I couldn't influence this man to give you guys goddamn peanuts. What makes you think a Joe Biden presidency is going to be any different than it was under the Obama thing? We didn't get nothing there, so what would make you think you get something here?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are just wishing for yesterday.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, the yesterday of the Obama administration. Maybe at least if we get Joe Biden in there, we'll have some remnants of what I guess the Obama administration was.
Okay, explain that. I mean, what was it?
Well, I'm just saying that the nostalgic part of it. I mean, you're asking me to answer questions I don't. I mean, I can't answer that.
Yeah,
question.
the Obama administration. Like I said, nothing. I know why the man was there. That's my thing. I understand why he was there. So I didn't expect much of this man in regards to my community. But do you know, under the Obama administration, that is when all of this racial tension and stuff started coming out, and they're dogging him. I mean, they're calling the president nigga, and all the divide in the country even got wider and just worse. Why would you want to do that right now when you got a man in there? People say, well, your man Clyburn. Yeah, y'all niggas need to understand that if you don't vote for the man we put out there, we're going to get 4 more years of Trump. So what? What has Trump done any different? What has Trump done up until now that has changed your life from 20 years ago? I'll give you 20 years. The Clinton time.
Yeah, how are you worse off?
Yeah, how are you worse off?
Now that Trump is in office than you were, like you said, the previous administration.
Right. I mean, Trump he's not trying to get the black vote. He ain't trying to do nothing to black folks. If anything, he's trying to deal with them brown people. That's his claim to fame. Trump is always talking about building a wall. He ain't talking about, let's keep them niggas down. He ain't saying none of that.
I mean, and not to defend Trump.
I'm not defending
that's
Trump.
Not what I
yeah,
do.
that ain't what we do.
But, in regards to black people, he hasn't done anything for black people.
Right.
At least you see, and I'm saying that very lightly, at least you do see him meeting with black,
right,
quote, unquote, leaders. At least you still see him doing that. Yeah, he might be blowing smoke. Might be. He's blowing smoke, but at least he is doing it, whether it's for a photo op or whatever. But
I ain't hiring y'all in my administration, but
he's saying he's going to do stuff, but whether that's going to happen, I don't know. But yeah, like, how are we worse off now than we were?
Right.
This
narrative of scaring you into 4 more years of Trump, and what's gotten worse? Nothing's gotten worse in my life because Donald Trump is up there.
And I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to be a little bit unpopular, although that is not my aim. But especially in regards to black people, like, we should be paying very close attention to what Trump is saying in regards to illegal immigration.
Yes.
Because the more people immigrate here illegally, that's harmful to black people.
Yes,
Dr. Claude Anderson always talks about they're not coming here to help black people. They're coming to replace black people. And so the more we keep caping, and I like to use that word, caping for immigration and all this other stuff, the less we're going to get. Black people are sinking lower and lower and lower in population and everything. I don't know how low we can go on the totem pole of life, but we are just like getting rock bottom everything. But yet we're like, oh, DACA this and this, don't build the wall. It's not fine. It's not cool. But it's like, well, you got to ask yourself, what does that mean for me?
For me, exactly.
So should we be mad at Trump? I mean, I know he's a bigot and the racist, all that other stuff. That
really?
I know.
Okay.
But I'm saying, in regards to that conversation, should we really be picking up that fight?
Right. Good point.
I'm just asking, should we be picking up that fight in regards to illegal immigration? Because we know that they're not talking about the black people who immigrate here illegally.
Right. And you want to know why? And you want to know why they're not worried about us? We've been here 600 years now? 600?
Almost 5.
Yeah, almost 500 years. We haven't done nothing yet, so why would they worry about us? The threat to them are these people coming here working hard, taking jobs, and and assimilating into their culture, right?
And having rights like voting rights, which eventually vote, the white man out. I mean, that's essentially where it's at.
Exactly. So stop getting to this democratic scare tactic of this. And I'm going to say this every time that I do my segment or even on my own show by itself. Voting is a business transaction. Tangibles 2020. You want my vote, what are you going to do for me? Specifically, not for everybody. All tides raises all boats. I don't want to hear that bullshit. That's bullshit. Specifically, what are you going to do for me? And speaking of which, all these Generation Fail, John Lewis, the Congressional Black Talkers, which is for what you guys probably know as the Congressional Black Caucus. I've been going through a lot of their records. Maxine Waters, you name them, whoever's all on there. Not one of them that I've seen yet. I've only gone through 4 of them, so don't think that I've gone through all of them. I've been very busy. But the 4 that I've gone through, legendary, I marched with Martin Luther King. And I almost got my black ass beat at that Pettus Bridge down in Alabama. The chick is dead. I mean, and she's an icon. No, don't get me wrong. She's an icon. Yeah, and that's important. But all these little things.
Symbolism.
Yeah, the symbolism of it. You know, he's a friend of mine. I got to make sure she get a little medal and she get a congressional record. But tangibly, what have you done for your community, Mr. Lewis? My man, yes, Miss Nancy, James Clyburn. This man won election by 70% in the last election. This man ain't got to worry about not being elected. Look at his neighborhood and what he represents and, you know, what's going on and thing. What has he done tangibly for black people? He's not concerned about those black people that he's supposed to represent, because what are you doing being a member of it's different if you weren't a member of the Black Talkers and you're a black man. I can understand. They're like, hey, I ain't representing them Negroes. I'm just out here myself trying to get in paid. James Clyburn is not 78 years old. It's a 78-year-old person concerned about a 23-year-old person trying to pay their way through college. They're not concerned about that. He's concerned about making enough money so that his family and his loved ones are taken care of after he's gone. And that's what it's about. And we need to get out there and start replacing these people with people that are going to give us tangibles. You don't hear, yes, Ms. Nancy, talking about reparations. He's the number 3 Democrat. Why isn't he talking about reparations?
Up until now, he hasn't had a need to.
No. He's talking about them. Y'all niggas ain't getting no reparations. I thought that affirmative action was reparations. Yes, boss.
Yeah, but who does affirmative action include?
That's everybody.
Right. So how's that reparations for us?
Thank you. You've been listening to my program?
I mean, to me, it's just like you connect that dot to that.
Right.
Dot, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Always remember that, you guys. For those guys that, watch our shows and stuff like that, reparations is a specific bill that is paid to a specific group for a specific wrong. If everybody gets it, it's not reparations. It's everything but. And that's what Kamala Harris talks about. Oh, I'm going to do this, but everybody gets it. No, if you do for black people, then everybody's going to benefit if black people get $300.
Ooh, 300?
Whatever she was talking about. 500. No, it's 500.
Oh, yeah.
$500.
Ooh, let me go and vote for her.
Yeah, it was $500. Now, this is from a woman who started her career as a bedwench, side chick. But yet, you got all the Generation Fail talking about, ooh, Kamala! Ooh, girl! She was the side chick! And you're going to listen to her? Not saying because she's a side chick that she's stupid. That ain't what I'm saying. Matter of fact, I say she's smart because...
It worked.
Right. Demetra worked at that job for 20 years, and just because she was willing to get on her knees, she jumped over Demetra and got that position. Now, where are all the Me Too's and the Time's Up people that are talking about that?
Well, see, the whole Me Too, now I don't say the whole Me Too, but a good amount of the Me Too movement is to, down with the white man, the oppressor.
Right, the oppressor.
So we can come up.
Right.
That's how I've always viewed feminism. So, of course, I'm not going to have a problem with what Kamala's doing. And you know what? I'm not a Kamala fan, but I say, hey, if it worked for you, she did the side piece role the way it's supposed to work.
Right.
Because if you're going to, and not that I'm trying to tell you to be the side piece, but if you're going to be the side piece, at least
get something out of it. Get something out of it. Besides a baby.
Dude bring over $5 Little Caesar pizza, and then y'all roll around and watch half a Netflix movie.
Right.
I mean, get you a car, a political position.
Oh, no. Willie gave her a car. He got
That's what I'm saying. Get all you can get.
Yeah, from what I hear, she's pretty good at number 2.
What?
She's pretty
Again,
good.
I don't advocate for the side piece, but hey, if it worked, it worked.
Like I said, I'm not mad, but I'm just saying I don't listen to people who go around the system. Just what she did is no different than what these parents did for their children.
Okay? And you know what? Not to even defend Kamala, but what she did ain't no different than what any other woman has done out there.
Sure.
I mean,
sure, but to me, that's a person I'm not going to listen to.
I mean, you think about like the Me Too movement. I like a lot of the actresses. How the hell they become big time actresses? Because they laid on their back.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to cry foul.
Right. Exactly. So
not all, but a lot.
Right. So I just want to bring that up and make sure you guys don't be listening to James Birdie. That's Miss Nancy. Don't be listening to that guy, okay? But real quick, what I want to talk about on the Demetra K Show, we talked about some financing. And a lot of good questions were coming up. And I brought this out because I took some really great notes. And people are saying, if we got a reparations check, go to Demetra K's YouTube channel. And the show is there. And she's talking about what would we do with that check. Yeah, we're going to trick it off. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. But a lot of people always ask me constantly, well, Donovan, why, would you do this? How would you invest? The thing is, Black people don't invest because we don't know how. We think it's something that's impossible. I don't have $1,000. But yet, you do. And how do I say that? That little dime bag of weed that you get every week, add that up. If you're a cigarette smoker, add that up. If you're an alcoholic, add that up. Those little 29 rims on that damn Cutlass that keeps running down the thing in the stereo system you got in it, add that up. The money's there. So for $5, if you want to start investing small, stock in Walt Disney Company is $114 right now. $114, and you become an owner of Disneyland and its entertainment brands.
Do I get in free?
No, you don't get in free, unfortunately. But the thing is, when they keep raising the prices, guess who gets that dividend check at the end of the year?
And I can cash out. Then I give me a ticket to Disneyland.
Yes,
finally.
Yes, you can do that, and that's what it's about. Because as a owner, your mantra is they have to make profit to issue you a check.
Absolutely.
So there's ways you can do this. And you got to ask yourself, and I'm not going to go into what I've done and all this other stuff. Here's what you got to ask yourself if you're going to get into the stock game. How much money do I need to start investing in stocks? All you need is $5. I would say $100 if you really want to get into it. Right? Yeah. And that's to get in at piece. Then you build up to the stock.
Hey. Y'all know some of y'all be going to Popeyes on Tuesday and getting that $5 chicken box?
Right, exactly.
Just you a $5 stock.
Some of you guys go to Starbucks 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And some of you guys even get a muffin during that day. That's almost $20 a day. Thrown out the damn window. So how much money should I, and then you got to ask yourself, number 2, how much money should I invest in the stocks? It all depends. How many of you guys have heard of Ford Motor Company? Everybody's heard of Ford because it's a historic American icon car. Now, and if you're down in the South, you guys are driving those big ass trucks. Nobody beats Ford when it comes to trucks. GMC comes close, but Ford is number 1 when it comes down to it. Tesla stock, I think it's going at about $330. Now, we know the green energy thing is to get in. $330. Just take $330, one stock. You're a part owner in the Tesla, and that thing's going to keep going up. But right now, Ford stock is going for less than $10.
Yeah,
less than $10. Why wouldn't you want to jump on that and become a part owner of that? And remember, investing is a long-term gain. So those of us that are constantly buying a GoFundMe's to bury your loved ones, man, if you put into an IRA account right now, let's say $20 a week, 10 years from now, that $20 that you invest is about $15,000, tax-free. Tax-free if you go to retirement age. So if you're younger and you start doing that at 18 years old, by the time you get to retirement age, you are set. You ain't got to worry about that job that closed on you that ain't going to pay you nothing. You've got something. And that's where things are going now with retirement. It's going to be on you. The company ain't going to do it anymore.
Right.
The government might do it, but that's even getting flirty as well. So those are the 2 questions you got to ask yourself. Those of you that don't want to join the military and you don't want all that debt because your kid is going to college, you might want to start opening an educational IRA right now, and you can get that from your banks. And just $25 a week. That's $25 a week. How much is that?
$25 a week?
A week.
At what?
No, just $25 a week investing.
I don't get what you're saying.
That's $100 a month.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah.
At what? Yeah.
That's $100 a month. That's $100 a month. That's less than some of you guys' habits.
Right.
for your kids. So if you just had a
below
baby,
$25 easily.
yeah. I mean, so if you have a child that you just had, you should start investing immediately. And if you don't know what you're doing, look for some financial investors to get some advice, and they will tell you how to do it. In the next hour, Dee, what are you talking about?
We're going to talk about Beto O'Rourke just a little bit more, and maybe some other trivial things.
What about James Clyburn? Yes, Miss Nancy?
I think you've talked about him enough.
All right, we're going to talk about that in the second hour. You guys, please stand by. Can't wait to talk to you guys then.